So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Rich Clark and I've been a hypnotherapist for the last 8 years and I've been a holistic therapist for the last 15 years. So, as I'm going to talk about another thing I spoke about, changing your career and changing direction, I'm going to talk about this subject, which is going to be called being creative and being self-employed. And the reason why I'm saying being self-employed is very important because the idea of being creative is that people can work for companies, but being creative and self-employed, that's like two skills you have to have intermerged. So I'm going to break down the pros and cons of being a creative worker and the self-employed aspect. So, pros. First one is creative freedom and autonomy. Creative workers who are self-employed enjoy unprecedented control over their work. They can choose their projects that align with their artistic vision, experiment with different styles, and set their own creative direction without corporate constraints. The autonomy allows for more genuine self-expression and the ability to develop a unique professional identity. Number 2, flexible schedule is another pro. Self-employment provides the ability to design your own work hours. This means you can work when you're most inspired, balancing personal and professional commitments more easily, and potentially integrate work around your most productive times of the day. For many creative professionals, this flexibility is absolutely invaluable. Number 3, potential for higher earnings. While income can be unpredictable, successful self-employed creatives can often earn more than they would by traditional employment. By building a strong personal brand, diversifying their income streams, and setting their own rates, they can potentially maximise their earning potential. Number 4, your personal brand development. Being self-employed allows you to build a distinct personal brand. You're not just an employee this time, but an entrepreneur, marketing your unique skills and creative perspective. This can lead to more interesting opportunities, networking connections, and a long-term career of growth. Number 5 is diverse project portfolio. Self-employed creative workers can work across multiple projects, multiple industries, and work with multiple clients at the same time, or actually integrate or collaborate. This variety keeps their work interesting, helps develop a broader skill set, and prevents the monotony that can come with traditional employment. So, what are the cons? Well, the cons are this. It's the financial instability. Perhaps the most significant drawback is income uncertainty. Unlike traditional jobs with steady paychecks, self-employed creative experiences fluctuating earnings. Some months may be financially abundant, while others could be very lean, requiring carefully financial planning and savings. So within this, don't, because you earn loads of money, spend loads of money on different things. Always remember you've got to keep a nest egg. This is something you have to think of all the time when you're in as a professional creative who is self-employed. Number 2 is the lack of benefits. Now, this is actually where a lot of people, when I work as a hypnotherapist, when they leave a job, they're like, oh, well, I get all these benefits while I worked for a normal job. So your employed individuals typically don't receive employment-provided benefits like health insurance, retirement plans, paid vacation or sick leave. They must independently manage and fund these aspects, which can be both complex and expensive. However, like everything, if you know how to, like we were saying in the pros, they have different income streams. They also can learn how to do other ways of investing and so forth. Now, I would suggest this: if instead of having a retirement plan, that you invest in things which you know will always make money or will be a good nest egg. So that's property. That can be solids. Not people say cryptocurrency and shares. Again, unless they're long term and there's definitely a way of investment to work, I would say you look at commodities which are always needed. So gold, silver, and so forth. Materials what are needed. Now, number 3, a lot of creatives hate this: the administrative burden. Running a creative business includes and involves so much significant administration work beyond actual creative output. This includes invoicing, tax preparation, marketing, client communication, contract negotiation, and business management, tasks that take away from actual creative work. So sometimes if you're a creative, it's actually good to have someone who can do them things. There is sometimes you can get someone who can do all them things for you. The only thing is with that, sometimes it's relying on them to also not do the best deals for you because they're doing it just because they want to be paid, which then ends up that you're being the employer, not you're becoming employing them. It becomes a bit of a murky situation. So you have to be wary of that. But it does help. You can sometimes get someone who can help you out with them things. The other one is isolation and motivational challenges. This happens quite a lot. So working independently can be very isolating. This actually happened a lot to people who were working in COVID and working from home. They miss being around people, being in an office, being around people, or being in a creative environment. They were literally stuck at home, and some people, they struggled with it. Other people lapped it up and loved it. So without the structure of a traditional workplace, self-employed creatives must be highly self-motivated. There's no external accountability, which can lead to procrastination or burnout. So again, this is something as well as a hypnotherapist. If you want to be a creative, but you know you suffer with them things of procrastination and burnout, then it's also a good idea to go to a therapist to actually help that and make sure that you change the mindset and refine it to make sure they don't go through them issues. Constant self-promotion. This is something you have to do a lot of. So success is a self-employed creative requires constant and conscious and continuous self-marketing. This means consistently networking, maintaining an online presence, updating portfolios and seeking new opportunities, which can be exhausting and distract from actual creative work. This is why you'll find a lot of creatives are always networking. And some people say, oh, that's an excuse for you to go to the bar. If it is not, it's networking. Everything is about networking. And 6 is increased stress and risk. The responsibility of generating all income, managing all aspects of the business, and dealing with potential clients' conflicts fall entirely on the individual. This can create significant personal and professional stress. And number 7 is probably the biggest one, is there's a competitive market. Creative industries are often saturated and highly competitive. Standing out requires not just talent, but strategic positioning, continuous skill development, and sometimes luck. And so with these I'm going to say a couple of things here to round off. Practical recommendations. For those considering this path, it's crucial to 1. Build a financial cushion before transitioning from your normal work to self-employed work. Number 2, develop strong time management and business skills. You have to be on the time management and business skills as well as being the creative. And if you struggle with any of them, it's going to be very hard to do that unless you've got a good team around you of people who are also self-employed that can help you. Again, this is how you can do these things. Create multiple income streams. Very important. How are you going to get things? Are you doing video work? Are you doing this? Are you doing promotion work? Are you doing, especially graphic design or whatever that is? You've got to create multiple income streams. So you're not just doing, like for me, I'm not just a holistic therapist. I'm also doing other work as well, and I can do different work. And that's why I'm looking at building up videos over time to give advice and so forth, and then doing article writing. I'm looking at doing that for magazines, online publications, doing guest lecturing will be another one I've been asked to do in the future. So again, it's multiple and you have to work hard. Network consistently. That's quite hard if you're actually out of the way of networking, but again, online work, going to lectures, talking to people who are online forums, online lectures, talking to people, communicating with people, trying to find out people, get people's emails, stresses. You've got to be consistent on that. Has to be. Continuously upgrade your skills. That is what the biggest thing of being self-employed is, and being a creative. You always are upgrading your skills. It's like for me, I've got my qualifications, but I'm still upgrading. So I've done 3 courses recently, which were free. Another old life coaching course by somebody else who I'd never done work before. A shadow work course, and I've done an also general human design course I've been learning recently. They were all free, but they were to add to my skills. Then I've been learning Nadi astrology, astro yoga from a guy called Siddharth Batterjee. So again, all these skills are all based on what I'm doing as well, and to build them skills up. So you're always learning and consistently educated. If you say you don't want to do education, then don't go self-employed, because you have to keep being educated and being up on things. Also, I use Coursive, that helps me to learn AI, and then I'm also using other ideas as well to learn more things. So again, always learning off my spare time. Practice disciplined financial planning is very useful. And then this decision to become self-employed creative worker is deeply personal. It requires honestly assessing your risk tolerance, self-discipline, financial stability and creative passion. While challenging, many find this creative and personal freedom tremendously rewarding. But like I said, as a hypnotherapist, one of the things I do like to do work with people is I have to make sure their mindset is ready. And if their mindset is not ready, to go into that leap without financial backing or with actually knowing the work involved is incredibly risky. So if you are interested and you want to make that leap and you want to discuss with me, I do free consultations, and you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I am rebuilding my website as well. So until then, I shall speak to you soon.